Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, students. Uh, I am Faiza Habib, your English teacher, senior SST. Students, today the topic which we are going to discuss is the verb and its types. Before we move on to the types of the verbs, first of all, let us define the verb. What actually the verb is. A verb is a word that describes an action, an event, or a state of being. Now, students, from the very earlier times or in the very primary, since the primary classes of yours, you must have gone through about the definition of the verb, that is that it describes an action. But now on this stage, we can see that it can show an action, it can show an event, or it can be a state of being. Students, you can see these three things in these examples given. He told me an interesting story. Told is the verb over here. She is a doctor is a verb here, and this boy seems tired means seems is the verb over here. Now this verb can be one word or it can be more than one word, and it always comes after the subject. And over here you can see that told is and seems has been written down after the subject, that is he, she, and this boy. Now students, as I have already told you, that verb can show an action or it can be a state of being. It means that state means that it can give you the information about some situation. So over here, students, you can see the example. I have a large family. Julia likes chocolate ice cream. Now students, and come on to the action verb, then you will be able to differentiate between the two. Action verb is the children are playing in the park. Now over here, students, you can see that playing is the action, and which is showing the action of the children. And then who is shouting means that shouting is another again an action verb, which is describing you about some action that is going on. But come on to these examples. I have a large family and Julia likes chocolate ice cream. Over here you can see that the words have and likes, they are not showing you any sort of action. Like these are only showing you that these are only giving you about some indication of some situation. I have a large family because it means that I possess a large family. It means that I am possessing a large family. And secondly, Julia likes chocolate ice cream means that she is in a such of state of being liking something like chocolate ice cream or something else. Then students, common mistakes that the children usually make is that state verbs, like I have a large family. But you should know it very well that whenever there is a state verb, you will never make use of the words ing with it. So students often make mistakes like this: I am having a large family, or Julia is liking chocolate ice cream. So this considered to be totally wrong. So one thing that you have learned in this on this slide is that whenever there is a state verb or whenever there is a situation like something that has been described over there, you can never make use of with these verbs, state verbs like have and likes. You can never make use of ing with it. Okay, come on to the next verb, that is action verb. Over here you can see that the children are playing in the park. Who is shouting? It means that the action verbs which are oftenly used with the helping verbs, that is are and is. Over here you can see that we can make use of ing with them. Now come on to this very important thing, that the verbs, they are having two basic main forms, that is finite verb and non-finite verbs. Now students, first of all I must tell you that what actually finite verb is and what is the difference between finite and non-finites. Now students, see, finite verbs. Finite verb is the verb that changes its forms according to the tense. What I have already in another video I have already told you that as far as finite verbs are concerned, that is these verbs are limitized by the tenses. It means that these, with the tense, they change their forms. With the changing tense, they change their forms. So over here you can see that finite verb is the verb that changes its forms according to the tense, that is present and past of the sentence, and the number and person of the subject. It is the main verb of a sentence or a clause. Then students, there comes the non-finite verbs. These are the verbs that are never ever affected by the person or number of the subject, and the tense of the sentence is called non-finite verb. It acts as noun, adjective and adverb. Now students, before I move ahead, I must tell you that see the different three kinds of finite verb first of all, and then we will discuss about the three different kinds and types of non-finite verbs. First of all, over here you can see that I am going to explain about the three kinds of finite verb, that is principal verb, linking verb and auxiliary verbs. Students, you can see on your screen that over here the verbs three forms, the transitive, the main three forms of transitive verbs are principal, which can be called a lexical verb, and it can also be called a main verb as well. So the principal verb is the verb that provides information and is used to express action. It functions as the main verb of the sentence or a clause. So students, principal or main or lexical verb is basically the main verb of the sentence, and it is often an action verb. And it functions as the main verb of the sentence or the clause. So over here you can see he gave me a book and he told me a story. Over here the verbs like gave and told are the main or lexical verbs. Then on second number, I have already told you that there is an auxiliary verb which is also called to be an helping verb. These auxiliary verbs or helping verbs are the verbs that are used to help the main verb to express its meanings in accordance with tense or mood. Now these are also of two types, like primary and auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs. Students, these primary auxiliary verbs are basically the you can see over here that these are basically the form of be, do and have. This thing is to be remembered very attentively, that primary auxiliary verbs, that is helping verbs, can be of three types, like these can be forms of be, do and have. Whenever they are used in the form of be, they can be used like is, are, am and was and were. And whenever these are going to be used in the form of do, they will be used as do, does and did. And whenever these auxiliary verbs or helping verbs, whenever they are going to be used in the form of have, you can make use of them like has, have and had, in the form of has, have and had. So over here you can see they are playing, I have finished my work. Students, you can see in both these examples, one thing you should be very much clear about it, that as far as auxiliary or helping verbs are concerned, they are having, like, they can be used as is, are, am, was, were, will, shall, do, does, did and has, have, had. But students, you can see that with these helping verbs, they are going to change the mood and state of the main or lexical verb. So over here you can see that if I have made use of are and have, they are going to play a part in the form of, in changing form of these main verbs like playing and finished. Over here you can see that with the helping verbs is, are, am, we can is, are, am and was, were, we will make use of ing with the first form of verb, and with has, have and had we will make use of, the verb will be changed into its third form, and we will make use of third form like finished with the use of has, have and had. But students, what about this sentence which is like I have a dog? Now over here you can see, students, that it is only a linking verb. It is not an action verb, and neither it is an action verb nor it's a, like this particular have over here, it is not a performing the function of helping verb. Rather over here it is being used as the main verb itself. So I have a dog, it means that have is being used over here as a main verb. It is not over here like it is not being used over here as a helping verb. Why? Because you can also see that as far as helping verbs are concerned, they are going to change the form of main or lexical verb. Over here have itself is going to be used as a main verb. It is not going to be change any main verb. It is not going to bring about any main change in the main verb. Then students, come on to the Next type, that is modal auxiliary verbs. Modal auxiliary verbs are the verbs that are used with the main verb to indicate mood or tense, and these words are like can, could, may, might, will, should, would, shall, must, ought to, need to, used to. Students, you can see that obviously I am also going to make another video in which I will totally explain to you about these modal auxiliaries, that they can also show the possibility, they can show the possibility, they can indicate the responsibility, and like such kind of things they can and they can also show the probability as well, like you can jump, it may rain today. You see over here these two words, you can jump, it is showing the probability that maybe you can jump or not, or it may rain today, it is showing the possibility of raining today. Okay, now see the examples of auxiliary verbs over here. Students, you can see Luciano is working now, Luciano isn't working now in the negative form of be. And when is Luciano working now, it is over here the form of be, that is being used over here as a in the form of question. Then in the form of do not, do and does, you can see the examples, I don't play golf every weekend, and do you play golf every weekend. And then in the form of has, have, you can see we have visited the UK 4 times. Now students, over here then the modal auxiliaries, about the modal auxiliaries, you can see that they are showing the state or mood of the speaker, the attitude of the speaker. So over here you can see the Patriots might win the Super Bowl this year, or then it means that might is going to show the possibility or probability. And then my sister can play the guitar, you must not smoke here. So you can see that these modal auxiliaries are showing you the possibility, probability, and responsibility as well. Now then students, you see over here then comes the linking verb or copular verbs. Students, as I have already told you that there are some verbs which are called the main lexical verbs, and there are some other words which will not be, they will be in the form of helping verbs. Like whenever you will see them, it seems as if these are helping verbs, but they will be used as the main verbs of the sentences. Over here you can see, students, that linking verb connects the subject of the sentence to a word that is subjective complement or a phrase and gives information about the subject. Now students, you can see that subject, some linking verbs you can see on your screens, like in the form of, whenever these are in the form of be, they will be used as is, are, am, was, and were. And there can be another words also which can be used as linking verbs, like become, look, seem, grow, taste, appear, feel, get, etc. Now students, there are no hard and fast rules for identifying the linking verbs. You will have to a little bit memorize these words which can be used as a linking verb. Okay, now students, over here you can see they are students, and you can see very well in this example that are is working as it is a form of be. Are is the form of be, and over here it is being used as the main verb of the sentence or the clause. And secondly, it is showing you the link between the subject and the predicate, that is students, or the complement, subjective complement or the predicate. They are going to give you some sort of they are linking, they prove to be a sort of link between the subject and the subjective complement. Okay, now students, as we have already discussed about the principal verbs, linking verbs, and auxiliary verbs, now here comes the turn of non-finite verbs, and we are also going to see them, and let us discuss each type individually, that is infinitive, gerunds, and participle. First of all, I will explain to you the gerund. Students, both gerunds and participles, they are the form of, over here you can see the gerunds and the participle. Both these can be used, you can see them, whenever you will see them you will find that these are verb plus ing form. Over here you can see that these are verbs plus ing form. But where lies the difference between the two? Actually students, you will have to remember one thing, that a gerund is formed by adding ing to a verb, and it functions as a noun. Over here what we have understood is that gerund is basically a verbal noun, and which is going to be made use with the word ing. Suppose over here you can see the example, reading. Students, you can see reading or smoking. Suppose if I am going to make use of the word smoking in a sentence, this particular word gerund, smoking is not good for health. Over here you can see that it is a subject of this of the statement, and secondly it is going to be used as a verbal noun, so that is why it is called a gerund. Come on to the participle. Participle is a word that is formed from a verb and acts as a verb, an adjective or an adverb. So now students, you can see that over here what I have already told you about the gerund, that it is a verbal noun. Over here the participle is basically a verbal adjective. It means that it is a verb form which is going to be used as an adjective, and sometime it can be formed and it can be act as a verb, an adjective or an adverb. There are three types of participle also. Number one is present participle. Now it is the base form of the verb plus ing. It means, as I have already told you about the present participle, that it is going to be used as the verbal adjective in the sentence, though it is a verb plus ing form, but it will be used as verbal adjective. Over here you can see they are playing. I saw a burning hut. Now students, over here you can see they are playing is basically a main verb. They are playing. Over here you can see that with is rm, when this particular word is used, it is not going to be a present participle, rather it is only a main or lexical verb. But when I say I saw a burning hat, it means that over here the word burning is being used as a participle over here, because I saw a burning hat means that I saw a hat that was burning. So it is showing the quality of the hat. What was to be done with hat? What was to be done with hat? That is that it was burning. So over here you must have observed that this particular word burning is going to be used as the verbal adjective, and so that is why it is a present participle. Now come on to the second example, that is second type, that is past participle. Over here students, you can see that past participles can be said to be another simple words. You can say that it can be third form of the verb. For example, broken, lost, wounded, etc. There is a broken chair. I have finished my work. So you see that this particular like third form of verb can be called a past participle. Then perfect participle. Very important thing is it is used as having plus third form of the verb. Over here students, you can see the example. He took his food. He went to school. Now you see you are having two clauses. He took his food and then he went to school. Whenever I want to join these two statements together, these two clauses together, and I will make use of this perfect participle, that is having. So over here I am going to join these two statements together, and while joining them I will make use of having. Having taken food, he went to the school. Over here you can see the use of, you can best understand the use of having over here. Students, as you see, I have already told you that there are some infinitives, then present participles, and then past participles, and then ing forms also. So over here students, I am going to share a chart with you. Over here you can see infinitive, that is base, the words like the verbs to cook. Whenever, as far as infinitive is concerned students, you must be knowing it very well. I have already explained to you the gerunds and present participle, but not the infinitive. Students, infinitives are basically the verb form that is used with the preposition to. Whenever the verb will be used with the preposition to, that will be called an infinitive. And over here you can see that there is a chart. Over here you can see that infinitive is the base form, that the base form of the cook, that is to cook. And present, uski jo present form hai, that is cook and cooks. Past is the cooked and past participle is the cooked, third form. And then ig form is the cooking, which can both be used as a gerund or participle as well. Then comes to go, then it is goes, go and goes. Over here you can see the past form is went, and then past participle is gone, and the fourth form, that is ing, that is called going. Then to be, the form of present form of to be is our am, and the past form is was, were, past participle form is been, and the fourth form is being, that is being. Then to read is the infinitive, and its present form is read, and past form is read, past participle form is read, and the fourth form is reading. Over here students, from this chart I will also make you understand one thing more, that is regular and irregular verbs. Students, you can see that whenever you find the second and third form of the verbs, like having adding with them ed, they will be called the regular verbs, and whenever they are not, we are not going to make use of past and past participle along with ed, then it is going to be the irregular verbs. Like over here you can see that cook is the regular verb, because we are having the past and past participle with it, with having ed with them. But as far as go is concerned, to go means that its past and past participles are different. They can be, they are went and gone, they are not going to be added with ed. So that's why this particular thing is called the, and the second one and third one, again the last three words are the basically irregular verbs. Okay students, I think you must have got all about the different kinds of verbs also, and obviously one by one all these things will be explained to you in separate videos, and hopefully you will get this thing inshallah ta'ala. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.